A very good evening to one and all. My name is Siraj. I'm the senior manager. We will be starting in another couple of minutes. In the meantime, I would request all the faculty members and all the guests, and also all the students who have joined via the YouTube link. Please call upon your classmates or friends who want to be a part of this particular SDP, that is Student Development Program, which is a specially designed student development program, basically intended towards the DSA technology. And we are inclined towards giving you a projection towards DSA when it comes to the interview preparation. So everybody and anyone who wants to start their career in regards to DSA, when it comes to interview cracking, here we are. We are bringing forward a customized and a professionally designed SDP, so that all the students can benefit for the 30 hours, 15 days, which will be basically from today. It is day one. So this is a curtain raiser, and we will be giving you a complete walkthrough on what these 15 days will hold and unfold. So please call upon your friends, your classmates, and ask them to be a part of this session. We'll be starting in another couple of minutes. So, Chandra, can you please quickly check if all the guests are in so that we can go ahead with the session?
Yeah. Okay, sir. I'll check.
All right, so I guess it is already time. And again, a very warm welcome and good evening to all the participants and all the respected dignitaries and guests who have joined this session. My name is Siraj. I'm the senior manager, and with me as host, we have Nitya, who is the manager taking care of the entire B2A collaboration. And from the backend, we have Chandana, who's taking care of the entire collaborative activities when it comes to the TDM part. All right. So we will be starting as this is the first day. We will be having a walkthrough on what exactly we have been doing and what are the achievements in terms of the collaborative activities or initiative, be it from the students' perspective or from the college perspective, what benefits we are offering to the society in terms of upskilling and the collaborative activities when it comes to the students and universities across India. So we have Nitya with us, who's the manager, and she will be the host for the day. So I will hand over the session to Nitya. Nitya, over to you. If you can please take up the dice and take the proceeding forward.
Thank you, Siraj.
Yeah.
A very good evening to one and all those who are present here. So it is with great enthusiasm. On behalf of XLR, I welcome you all for a 30 hours of student development program on ACE coding interviews DSA Mastery with Java. Starts today, that is 9th Jan, and the sessions will be happening from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. for the next 15 days. So let me welcome, and I'm incredibly honored to have the distinguished faculty members, principals, students who are joining for this session. So, especially to the faculties and principals who have made this possible, having their students joining in. Your encouragement and leadership play a pivotal role in shaping the future of the students. So, we are happy and even more excited than you to provide you a wonderful journey on ACE coding interviews, DSA Mastery with Java. Before which, let me give you a little insight about XLR. XLR, a strategic partner of colleges for classroom to corporate success. So, with a decade of excellence, training excellence, we have successfully trained close to 6 lakh students and conducted more than 500 webinars, seminars, faculty development programs, and many more. We cater to the skilling needs of individuals, institutions, industries, and we have spread across. We have our headquarters in Houston, US, and at Bangalore we our presence is in two different locations: Chennai, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Pune. What keeps us strong and is our premium association. We have strongly partnered, collaborated with SkillUp APSSDC, AppShay, Task, IIT Madras, Pravartak, IIT Roorkee, conducted a number of training programs at IIT Roorkee, SkillUp APSSDC, AppShay, Task, and at NASCOM, we have jointly ventured in exploring many more opportunities in terms of training students pan India, providing them with internship programs, projects, and many more. So we have been uh, awarded twice by Deloitte as the fastest growing technology company in Deloitte Technology, and by IIT Roorkee we have been honored by APSSDC, Silicon India for a fabulous training programs which we have done at Silicon India and many more. So through our decade of training excellence, as I told you that we have trained so far 50,000 plus engineering faculties. We haven't stopped there. We're still ongoing with a lot of exciting emerging technology topics to upskill the faculties and also to train the students on the emerging technology front. So close to 30 plus technology courses we've been training, and so far we have trained 6 lakh students on various technologies. We have strongly partnered with 5,000 plus placement partners and associations with academia. We have close to 1,500 plus. These are few of our recent engagements, that is faculty development program on full stack development at IIT Bombay, This is at IIT Roorkee, where we have trained researchers, scholars, and faculties on time series analysis and predictive analytics at IIT Roorkee. And this is student engagement where we have trained students. It's a student initiative where students from BITS Pilani, Hyderabad approached us for getting trained on Power BI and machine learning. And through a fabulous collaboration with IIT Madras Pravartak, we have been training students on the joint certification courses. This is one of our successful uh, uh, training program which we had curated exclusively for the final year engineering students on a deep discussion with the faculties, HODs, understanding the real pain points of the final year engineering students unable to crack interviews. So having done the research and analysis, we had curated a 240 plus hours of campus recruitment training program, which is a 5 subject module on coding skills, quantitative aptitude, logical reasoning, verbal ability, soft skills, resume building, LinkedIn, techniques to ace the training, group discussion, personal interview. So many more we had done wherein the students undertook the training through a LMS platform. We uploaded yesteryear's papers of the top companies, corporate companies, which helped the students in cracking job interviews. So far we had 50,000 registrations where on which the students were tracked on their performance, attendance, assignment submission, and all, and close to 5,200 plus students were eligible for the prestigious certificate, which is from iHub Divya Sampark, joint body of IIT Roorkee and Government of India, Department of Science and Technology. So this again immensely added value to the students who attended, and they were awarded with this prestigious certificate. So having association with the APSHE, we conducted internship and projects wherein we curated this model under the APSHE guidance based virtual short-term internship program, which is of 180 hours on 30 plus technology tracks. Complete training program was through the LMS portal, and the students were given additionally 240 hours of training on the campus recruitment training to help them to crack the interviews. Additionally, there were a lot of quizzes and assignments which were uploaded, and the students were given placement assistance towards the end of this training program. So thereby, on a quick snapshot, close to 18,000 students attended this training program, which was a mix of degree and engineering, and the duration was 16 to 20 weeks, trained on 22 plus technology tracks. So without much further ado, let me introduce our dignitaries for today, and then take over to the program. So we have our esteemed guest, Dr. Velmani Ramaswamy, Professor and Head, Aditya Institute of Technology, who is an accomplished academician having BE, ME, PhD degree from Anna University. With 15 plus years of teaching and research experience, his expertise spans in computer network, ad hoc network, cloud computing, IoT, and many more. So a warm welcome to you, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good
Am
evening,
I
sir.
audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
So I am very happy to join with Excel uh, training programs.
Sir, your voice is breaking.
So especially today, especially data structure and am I audible?
Yes, sir, but maybe there's suddenly there's a flow of air and it is cracking the words.
Okay. So especially today, data structure and algorithm mastery with Java. So it is a 15 days program. So why that data structure it is essential, most of the company looking for that ace coding interviews. So the data structure, it is mandatory for many cases. So if you want to develop whatever the product, so we need to define that as an object. So therefore, the data structure and algorithm, it is mandatory. So most of the companies looking that competitive coding in data structure and algorithm. So for many platforms, we can see that. So code forces, lead code, and hackers rank. So they're conducting various tests. So to improve the coding skills on data structures and algorithm. So our Excel are also offering 15 days course to improve the skills, especially in Java. It is not about C or C++, especially in Java. So it will be very helpful to the students to improve their coding skills, and they can participate in various competitive tests. So thank you so much for giving this opportunity. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, sir, for making for this event and having your students also here. So it is very inspiring and thanks a lot, sir.
Welcome, ma'am. Thank you.
So let me move on to the next dignitary from DY Patil College, Dr. Latika Desai, Principal, Academic Administrative IT Department. She holds 27 years of teaching experience, published 45 research papers in reputed journals, 2 books, 6 patents, 2 copyrights, and she has completed her PhD in 2019 from SPPU and has received AICTE funding, NPTEL certification. Dr. Desai organized the AICTE sponsored national conferences on emerging trends and applications in machine learning. A hearty welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible. You can share a few words for
Okay.
today, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I thanks to our management director and principal, Mrs. P. Malathi madam, for giving us this opportunity by signing the MOU with XLR. Dr. D.Y. Patil Pratishthan's Dr. D.Y. Patil College of Engineering was established in 1984 in Pimpri, and later it shifted to the Akodi campus in 2001, which is in the vicinity of Pimpri Chinchwad industrial area, one of the biggest industry belt in Asia. The college spreads over a 10 acres of a land with 8 different engineering disciplines. This institute is approved by AICTE New Delhi and affiliated to the Savitribai Phule Pune University. Dr. D.Y. Patil College of Engineering has, has been graded autonomous status from the academic year 2024, and it is NAC accredited, NBA A grade. Then, the college has excellent and ambient infrastructure with well equipped laboratories. Well qualified, motivated, and dedicated faculty members are serving the institutes. And I must say thanks to the XLR team for organizing this workshop, which is on the demanding student demand. We selected the topic for the effective coding, which is needful nowadays. And I think it is very much helpful for the students to face the interviews for the campus. Thank you all. Over to Nitya.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Was very inspiring and motivating for the students of DY Patil College and the others who have gathered today. So let me move on to our next dignitary. So we have Dr. P.S. Malathi, Principal of DY Patil College of Engineering. Dr. P. Malati is a professor, principal at DY Patil College of Engineering, with a PhD in wireless communication from Pune University. She specializes in microstrip, patch, fractal antennas, as well as signal image processing VLSI embedded system. A prolific researcher, she has published 88 papers in reputed journals and conferences, along with 13 patents. She is a member of esteemed professional bodies like ISTE, IEEE, IETE, and many more. So, a hearty welcome to you, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Tell
Ma'am,
me, ma'am.
actually,
Malti, ma'am.
Malti ma'am is having some work urgently, so
Oh,
that's
okay.
why I given
You
that.
have on behalf
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
All right, ma'am.
So already I have shared my views.
Sure, sure, sure.
Thank
All
you.
right.
And over
Thank
to
you, ma'am.
you.
So, let us get into the much excited speaker trainer for today, who will be training you through this journey. So allow me to introduce our subject matter expert, Mr. Umar Yaqub Solanki, corporate trainer and senior Java developer, having a subject matter expertise in full stack, over 15 plus years of experience in front end and back end, working as a senior Java developer at an MNC, who is skilled in C, Python, DSA, Java programming, database, Java Spring, both HTML, CSS, JavaScript, TypeScript, React.js, trained so far 10,000 plus candidates globally on various full stack curriculums. A warm welcome to you, Mr. Omar.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Yes, so Mr. Omar, please.
Yeah, hi guys. Welcome everyone for this session. So I'll be conducting these sessions. And as ma'am has explained, I have around 14 years plus experience as a trainer come a software developer. And I'm working with a corporate MNC. And I also conduct training. My core area of strength is data structures and Java and database vertical. So I'll try to make this session very engaging and interesting for you guys.
Thank you, Omar. So I believe that there is a quick training on the LMS. So let me hand over to the TDM team.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Nitya.
Thank you, Amar.
So, dear students and faculty members, once again, very good evening and welcome to the 30-hour student development program. So, myself, I'm working as a team leader at Excel. So, I'm here to just give you the quick walkthrough of the LMS. So, I will be taking a 10 minutes of yours because on day one itself, we are going to clear all these things, how you will join the session, about the certification, about the attendance, about the material, about the recordings. The next 15 days delivery will be very smooth and there will be no any interruption. Directly, we'll have a session start from sharp at 7 o'clock, right? So let me share my screen. So dear students, those who are on the YouTube, especially we are running this program focusing on the YouTube. So most of members are there. So 1 minute. Yeah. So is my screen is visible, students, both Zoom and YouTube? Okay, thank you for the clarification. So dear student, LMS is nothing but a learning management system. And by using the LMS, Jayesh, yes, we are here for that only and we'll go for that, no need to worry. Okay, so there is no any WhatsApp group, Anushka. I will take all the queries and questions, no need to worry. So first of all, let's go through the LMS KT. After that, we'll work on the Q&A, okay? So LMS is known as a learning management system. And by using the LMS, we are going to provide you the recordings of the session, the material, the assignment, and even you can mark your attendance feedback as well from the LMS. So how you will access the LMS? So those who registered till today morning, so they already received two emails from XLR team. Okay. So first email is a verification email. Welcome to XLR and verify your account. So dear students, whenever you are going to check your mail ID, please check in the inbox and don't forget to check in the spam folder as well. Right. So you need to open the first email and the first email is welcome to XLR and verify your account, right? So by using this mail, we need to set out the password. So here you can check verification link is there. So if I click on that link, it will take me to the next page, and I need to provide my password. So this password will be the completely new password, right? Completely new password. It's not like that you need to provide the password of any account which is already existed. No. So you can set the new password, which will be the combination of your name, some numbers and some digits and some symbols, right? So as per your choice, you can set the password, same password, you can confirm here, and you can click on set my password. So this is the very first step towards practicing the LMS, right? Now, once you're done with this step, open the second email. Second email is nothing but the course invitation mail. So you can check welcome to the particular SDP on the DSA Mastery with Java, right? So here we mention all these things stepwise. So coming to the step 1, we mention LMS URL. So dear student, as you know that every application or web app will be having their own URL, right? So on a daily basis, you are using some flipkart.com, amazon.com, or if you're using the web Instagram, then instagram.com or linkedin.com, right? So likewise, our XLR LMS URL is onlinelearning.xlr.com. Why I'm tracing on the URL? Because in the future, not required to go here and they're not required to search for the mail as well. Use any of the browser, whatever is default browser for your system. Let it be a mobile, let it be a laptop or a system desktop. So you can type it down, you can bookmark that. And once I click on this link, it will take me to the next page. And here, so as I'm mentioning the URL, you can check here onlinelearning.xlr.com. Right? And you're already registered member. So those who are not registered, so it's my humble request for each one of you. If you are not registered, please make sure that you are registering, because if you're not going to register, you will not get the LMS access. So after registration, in a 24 hours of time span, you will get the LMS access. So not required to do registration from here. So whatever link we shared with you, with your college, even I shared that link over the Zoom and YouTube as well with everyone just before starting my KT. So if you're not registered, click on that link and register yourself. So now our main focus is on to the sign in. So let me click on sign in. Once I click on the sign in, so I need to provide my credentials. So dear students, what credentials? So first of all, email ID. Now here you are able to see the mobile number as well, but it's request to use the email ID only because you receive a mail confirmation, welcome mail, right? So you need to provide your email ID and the password. Which password? Yes, in the first email itself, we created a password, right? We set that password. So that password we need to use here. And in the future, if you're not remembering your password, we have option to forget your password. If you go for this step, then you will get an email request to set your new password. So suppose I provided my credentials successfully. So I will click on login. Now let me reshare my screen. And after clicking on the login, what kind of the functionalities we are providing over the LMS. So you will see that, okay? So I'm resharing my screen and showing my dashboard. So once we provide our credentials successfully, we land here on this beautiful dashboard. And from here, we can see dashboard, classroom, assessment, store, calendar, news, blog, all these functionalities, right? So how you will join the session? That is the most important thing, right? So you can check here and today's session tab will find for that today's day 1 of this program. So you will find the join button. If you click on the join, it will take you through the YouTube. Okay. So if you're not able to join from here, above to the today's session tab, you are able to see some banners. Okay. So search for that particular banner by scrolling. So if I click on that YouTube, here I can find the live is going on, right? Additionally, you can check here I'm getting the questions, right? So let me play that video. So whatever the things students having doubts, or if we want to share any application link to be downloaded or any material to be shared with you or any application links to be shared with you. So YouTube participant, no need to worry. we are live and we are going to share each and everything with you. So the second question, every day not required to get the link as well. So what you need to do, you can subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon, right? And if you are going to click on all, every day at the time of session, you will be getting the notification that session started, please join, right? So subscribe the channel, you will be getting the notification to join the session. No need to run here and there, directly you will be getting the notification on your phone, okay? And if you are going to have any query or question, so you can check if live chat box is not visible for you, then here we have new option. Now I'm just closing my YouTube chat box, and here I have one option that live chat, right? Below the console of this, like Excel solution, subscribe, likes, right? So here I have the live chat console. If I click on that live chat, the live chat will be visible for me. So this functionality we have with us. So you can click on that, whatever the queries and questions we are going to have, you can post here. Additionally, the links, attendance link, and all these things also will be sharing here. Okay, right? So going back into the LMS, again, I will show you how you will find the recordings over the LMS and where you will get the attendance as well. So click here SDP on coding interview. Once you click there, you will find the curriculum and meet tab. In the meet tab, you will find your calendar, like on which days we'll be having the session. Now you can see 9th, 10th, we'll be having the session. Then 13th, on 14th, I think there is a holiday, public holidays, we'll be not having the session. So likewise, you will find the sessions here and you can access that, right? Going back into the curriculum, one more thing. So even you can join the session from Meet as well. So if you click on the join button, it will take you through the YouTube as well. Now going back into the curriculum, you can find the feedback response. So submit your attendance and feedback here. So dear students, attendance and feedback is mandatory for everyone. Why it's mandatory? Why? Because to get the certificate of participation, 60% attendance is mandatory. Okay. I'm just repeating one more time. To get the certificate of participation, 60% attendance is mandatory. So one more thing. Here you can see one note that the form will active between 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. right? So every day this form will active in between 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. And additionally, dear students, now today you will say that definitely you are going to ask me, sir or madam, there are problem. I just registered, I not received the mail, what I can do? No need to worry. So today you will be receiving the link sharp at 8:30 in the chat box over the Zoom and YouTube as well. So no need to worry about that. Every day we are going to share the attendance link in the chat box, but make sure we are using the LMS properly. Below that, feedback response, we have session recording. So if you click on the day one, here you will find the session recording. Okay, so here you will find the day-wise recording, like day 1, day 2, up to day 15, all the recordings will be available here. And below that, if as of now, we not uploaded any material, but any importance material or PPT or codes need to be shared with you, so that you will find here. Yes, so like you can access the LMS, sign into the LMS, access the material recordings and all these things. I'm opening the chat for the Q&A. So please go ahead and ask your questions. I will take up that, and next 2-3 minutes we'll be starting our session.
Thank you, Amar. So, Amar, I guess it is time for us to hand over the session to the trainer so that we can go ahead with the technical part.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Umar,
Yes, Umar sir,
we
you can.
are fortunate enough to have you onboarded as the industry expert who will be taking forward the session. So, Umar, I hand over the session to you. Amar, I think you were saying something. I interrupted. I'm sorry.
No, sir, I'm done.
Yeah. So, Umar, the session is yours. You can please take it over and we can start with the technical part.
Yeah, sure. I'll start.
Thank you.
Just give me a minute.
Hello, Nitya madam.
Yes, ma'am, please tell me.
Can you make me an other device co-host so I can admit my all students?
Ma'am, actually, we are requesting students to join via YouTube.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Hi guys. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, Umar, please continue.
Yeah, sure. So, guys, as we all have been briefed about the session, that this will be a programming session on data structure and algorithms. Okay, so I would want to first share a list of all topics which I wish to cover in the subsequent sessions. So let me fetch the syllabus for. Let me know once you're able to see my screen, guys. Are you able to see my screen? Is my screen visible to all? And am I audible clearly? Hello?
Yes, Umar, you're audible and your screen is also visible.
So this is the breakdown of the curriculum which will be following in the next 15 days and 30 hours. So I'll be having an introduction to DSA, okay, and how you can use DSA in Java, the collection framework, okay, and then the time complexity, how you measure time complexity in algorithms. Then we'll do program on strings, arrays, searching, sorting, recursion, linked list, singly and doubly, and circular, stack, queues, trees, graph. Okay, and then we'll have some mock interview questions and advanced problems, and then some tips and tricks for interview preparation. And I'll also share a cheat sheet with you all, so you all can directly pick as to which data structure to use in which particular scenario. So has Java been covered in your curriculum, guys? So those who have joined can just text me on the chat that are you all comfortable with the fundamentals of Java as to the basic programming structure of a Java program. Okay, so I get. Okay, so the fundamentals of Java has been covered. Okay, so we should directly kick off with the data structure part. So in data structures, many product-based companies, whenever they have an interview, they'll always try to gauge the understanding of data structure of the candidates. Okay, most top-notch product-based companies will always, it's mandatory that they'll ask you some questions on data structures. They'll give you some problems or programs to solve in the first round of your interview, and that those programs will be based on data structures. So those who are targeting for a job in a product-based company as a software engineer, for them, it's like a mandatory topic. It's not an optional topic that we should be knowing or we should not be knowing data structures. So for such candidates, it's more or less compulsory. Okay. So before jumping on to the main core topics, let me just take a quick aptitude test as to whenever a company takes an interview, on what criteria do the company, select the candidate. So let me give you all a simple question. So if I give you all a very basic sort of question, and I ask you all that basic programming question I'll ask in the initial stage, that I need you to accept a number from user and check whether that number is a prime number or not. Now this sounds pretty elementary, but we have various ways of doing the same program. And the one with the most efficient algorithm is what the interviewer is looking at. So the interviewer is not looking at that whether the output is coming or not. So there's a very paradigm shift from getting the output. So this was in your lab. So when you're doing programming in your college lab, our main objective is getting the output. Once you get the output, you show it to your faculty. The faculty reviews the output and gives you marks. But whenever an interview is being conducted, just merely getting the output is not what the interviewer is looking at. So the interview has different parameters of gauging the candidate. So just if you have got the output, then the interview will now check as to how fast your algorithm has run, means how fast your logic has executed. Algorithm means step by step. So, okay, these are all basic, I guess, has been covered in the theory part. So when I mean by algorithm, I means step by step, okay, ways to solve a problem. So now the interviewer will not only keep an eye on the output that has to come, but the output which has come in the fastest time. Okay. So now you will also keep an eye on the algorithm which you have used to get the output. In what steps you are using to get the output. So if two people are solving the same program and they're getting the same output, now how do I judge like whose algorithm is working faster? So for that we have some measuring techniques. One of them is asymptotic notations. So which of the notation are you all aware of? Okay, I am aware of big O. So whenever we will write our algorithm, we have to explain the algorithm with regards to its time complexity also. As time complexity dictates how fast this logic will be executed. So if I take this simple question of accept a number and check whether it is prime or not, we can have several ways. Okay, we can have around 4 different ways, if not less, to solve the same problem. Okay. Okay, so Gayatri has told that according to her, this is the most effective way. Yeah. So if we have in our session, let's say the head count of the session is 40. So if I exclude the faculties and if I exclude the management staff, so if let's say this is, I'm talking about the Zoom. Okay, I've not logged into the YouTube. So if we are 40 of us, each person can think of a different way of solving this problem. So each person individual can have his or her own separate algorithm. So Gayatri has given me a programming logic in which she says that the answer fastest according to her, and she's shared that across the chat. So if anybody else has any other solution, they can post it on the chat as well. Meanwhile, I just start up my Eclipse screen and we'll try to solve this. Okay, so let me make a fresh project for you guys. And we'll keep it data structure and algorithm. Okay, mastery with Java. So I'll just name your project. Okay, so I'll make a Git repository also, and I'll share the code with you all on the Git repository. Okay, those who wish to know how to create a repository and push the local code onto the repo can let me know on the chat. So I'll explain that also. So just okay, a basic, as today is a curtain raiser. I'll try to start with lightweight exercises and then gradually we'll move to heavyweight lifting. By the end of the 30th hour, you all should be quite comfortable in cracking any interview of top-notch corporates based on data structure. Okay, so now let's take the first scenario, prime number, and I'll take it called as 1. My text is legible, right? You're able to read what I've written over here, or is it too tiny for you all? Okay, so you can just put on the chat if anything you all want to share. So let's take a number. So you might hard code it. Okay, so I'll just hard code it as of now because I know the basics has been covered. So I don't need to go into the core understanding of Java. So directly we'll jump to the programming. So let's say if my number is n. So one of the basic solutions is that to check whether a number is prime or not, what is the prime number? Which is divisible by 1 and by itself, right? So if I take n as 7, I run a loop from 1 till the number. 1 till the number itself, I run a loop. Now, the prime number will be divisible how many times in its entire life cycle? Twice, by 1 and by itself. So these two, it will always be divisible by 1 and by self. By self, I mean by n. So if I take a number and I run a loop starting from 1, going till that number itself, and I check how many times the number gets divisible, and if the count is exactly 2, then I'll call that as a prime number. So how will I run the loop for this? So for prime logic 1, how will I run the loop? So if I start a loop, so if I start the loop from 1 and I wish to go till n, what would be the loop like? Okay, so guys, I would want this to be an interactive session, so I can pace my the session accordingly. So if I feel that you're like responding and interacting, so accordingly I can pace my session. So if you all say, okay, sir, increase the intensity or slow it down, you're not able to catch pace. So based on your feedback, I can alter my pace accordingly. So what would be the for loop which will run from 1 to n? Who can help me out? Anyone? Siraj sir, aren't they able to unmute themselves? Will they be on mute the entire time? So if you all can just put on the chat. See, I just want to see how good you all are with the core programming. That's why I'm asking again and again. So let's start it from here. I'm not able to check the YouTube comments. I'm just checking the one on Zoom. Okay. So if anyone's posting on YouTube, I'm not able to see that. So I start the loop from 1. I take it till n and I plus. Okay. I'll declare the integer. And now what will I check? I also need a counter variable, right? To give the count of the number of times it gets divided. So I'll take a counter variable also. Initialize it to 0. And then I'll check if my n mod with I gives me a remainder of 0. If it does, I'll increment the count. Okay. And then after the iteration, I will come and check what is the value of the counter. If the counter value is exactly 2, I'll sys out. The number is prime. Okay. If not, I'll sys out. Number is not. This is just a basic solution to this problem. But the issue doesn't end over here. As I said, in the interview is, you just can't impress the interviewer by just getting the output. That would not convince him entirely. As long as you don't show which is the best way of getting the output also. So if I run this code, number is 7, so it should show me prime. Okay, so this should get the answer as prime. Okay, the console is over here. Just narrow down this server part. And just close the server. And I'm getting the answer. But how many iterations has this loop taken to get me this answer? Who'll tell me? So if I take a integer loop counter, initialize it to 0, and then I increment my loop counter over here. Okay, and then at the end I can also display sys out. Okay, iteration count as loop counter. So what do you think will be the answer for this? How many iterations has this algorithm taken to execute? The algorithm which we say that you start from 1, go till the n, and keep on modding. Whenever you get the remainder as 0, you increment the counter. This was my algorithm. So my counter variable was initialized to 0. And as and when it divides, increment the counter. So it divides 7 divided by 1, the counter becomes 1. 7 doesn't divide by 2, counter remains 1. Doesn't divide by 3, counter remains 1. Doesn't divide by 4, counter remains 1. Doesn't divide by 5, counter remains 1. Doesn't divide by 6, and divides by 7, counter becomes 2, and my loop terminates. Right? So better off we can check it in Excel. Okay, so the dry run, always try to master the dry run. Okay, because code can be available on Google or ChatGPT or Stack Overflow, but this dry run is in your mind. So if you want to excel into programming, always debug and dry run your code. Okay, so let me dry run this code. Okay, so this will separate the men from the boys, those who can dry run their code successfully. So my n was 7. Okay, and so for each variable, make a separate column. So how many variables do I have? N, loop counter, n, counter, and loop counter, and I. So I have 4 variables. So I'll have n, counter, loop counter, and I. So try to make a habit of dry running. This is called as dry run. I call it as dry run. So n is 7. counter initialized to 0, loop counter initialized to 0, and I initialized to 1. Okay. So first thing first, it will check I equal to 1, then check for the condition. It's written as I less than equal to n. How will I read this? You'll write the variable names, but you read the variable value. How will I read this? And it is 1 less than or equal to 7. Answer will be true. We'll go inside the loop. Increment the loop counter by 1. Loop counter becomes 1. And then we'll check if n mod I. So what will we check? N mod I means is 7 mod with 1. Does it give me remainder 0? Answer is true. It does give me remainder 0. Then if the answer is true, what happens? The loop counter increment. Loop counter becomes, what are we incrementing? The counter. Counter variable becomes 1. So this all should be running in your mind subconsciously. So in the initial stages, even if you draw it in Excel and then practice it, would be good. And as and when you become expert in this, then in your mind, subconsciously, this should keep on running. This will help you solve complex problems more easily and debug the problem, because you will know in which iteration, which variable is having what value. So this is a good practice to have, guys. Then again, my loop increments, I becomes 2. So what do I check first? I check for this. Is 2 less than equal to 7? Answer is true. I come inside, I increment the loop counter becomes 2. And then what do we check? Is n mod I, is 7 mod 2 equal to 0? Answer is false. When the answer is false, my counter does not increment, counter remains 1. So this keeps on iterating. Then my I becomes 3 and blah, blah, blah. This keeps on happening. Okay, so I'll just do it a bit faster now. So 3 less than equal to 7 is true. My loop counter increments to 3. 7 mod with 3 is false. So the counter does not increment, counter stays 1. I becomes 4. 4 less than equal to 7 is true. Okay. Increment the loop counter to 4. Then check. Is 7 mod 4 equal to 0? Answer is false. Counter does not increment, counter still remains 1. Okay. And then my I increments to 5. Is 5 less than equal to 7? Answer is true. Loop counter increments to 5. And now is 7 mod 5 equals to 0? False. So loop counter does not increment, counter remains 1. I becomes 6. We'll check for is 6 less than equal to 7. It returns true. Loop counter increments to 6. Check for 7 mod 6. Does it give me a 0? No, false. So loop counter remains 1. And then my I becomes 7. I'll check for is 7 less than or equal to 7. Answer is true. And loop counter becomes 7. And then when I check 7 mod with 7, does it give 0? Answer is true. When it is true, the counter increment, counter becomes 2. And when my I becomes 8, I check for is 8 less than equal to 7. Condition becomes false and my loop terminates. And once I come up outside the loop, what do I check for? I check for the value of counter. Is my counter value 2? So is the counter equal to 2? Answer is true. So I will output what? This is my output. So I will output number is prime. I'll output number is prime. And how many iteration did it take? So I am displaying the iteration count as loop counter. So I am displaying iteration count as loop counter. What is the loop counter value? 7. So answer should come like this. So this should be my output. Prime and iteration count as 7. Internally, this all has happened inside. So let's try to run this code and check. So I get prime and iteration count as 7. So if I check for 97, what do you think will be the answer? Come on, guys, put it on the chat. Try to engage and indulge in the discussion, guys. Those who wish to excel, because this might be a bit slippery and the climb might become a bit steeper going forward. So as today is our first day, I'm just trying to do a warm-up exercise with you all. I'm not jumping into the hardcore and not scaring anybody off. So what do you think would be the output of this code? Okay, don't dry run because this will be a very lengthy dry run. Just okay, so I'm getting some answers. Suraj, very good, Suraj. And anybody else, please post your answers. Yes, guys. What do you think should be the answer for this when I change the value of n to 97? I'm audible to everyone, right? So answer should be its prime. And how many iteration has it taken to get the answer? Can anybody add on the chat? So it's taken it 97 iterations. Okay, so when I run this, it says prime and it takes 97 iterations. So if I were to mention the time complexity of this algorithm to the examiner, to the interviewer, how will I mention the time complexity? So the big O notation takes the worst case. So I will say in the worst case, this will be O of n, and n is the number. So if the number is 97, in the worst case, I will take 97 iterations. So big O always gives you the worst case, remember guys. So big O, as it is called, will always measure in worst case. So if this is the number, how many iteration will I take? Max, worst to worst case, the number itself. So I will say the time complexity of this algorithm is O of n. I hope you all are aware of the time complexity asymptotic notations, guys. This is a part of the engineering curriculum in most of the colleges in, I guess, first year or second year. Programming session starts after the programming fundamentals. There is a chapter on asymptotic notations. If you're not able to unmute, which I guess you're restricted, you can at least communicate via the chat. You know, that will help me understand as to whether you all are understanding what is being taught. So you all can text your answers, your queries, your concern, whatever, X, Y, Z. And these messages come directly to me. So they are not broadcasted to on the chat. They come directly to the trainer. Okay. So you cannot have any, you don't have any fear as to. So this algorithm's time complexity is 97. So it's big O of n. Okay, how many other asymptotic notations do we have, guys? Are you aware of the other notations? I will use them. I'm audible to you all, right? I don't see a response. It will be like one-way traffic, like I'm teaching myself. So now if this was the first, so there were 4 candidates called for the interview, and the same question was given to all 4 of you all 4 of them. And the first person solves the program, he gets the output. And when asked to explain the time complexity, he says it's O of n. Okay, so he submits the program. Now the next candidate, if he wants to do the same program and he wants to increase or improve on the time complexity, so I guess Gayatri had texted me a better option than this one. So I'll call it prime 2 then. I'll copy this class and I'll call it prime number 2. Okay. And let's take the same number 97. So, okay, for example, say let's take the same number 7 just for sake of the example. So we can work on the number. So now if the number is 7, I am guaranteed that every number will divide by 1 and by itself. Now, which are the numbers which are pending, which I need to check whether it divides or not? They are 2 to 6. So if the number is n, the number is 7, then till 6. So how will I put a generalized formula to this? I'll start the loop at 2 and I'll go till n minus 1. Right? So this can be a general formula. Start the loop at 2 and go till n minus 1. And if in between, if the number divides by any of them, you can stop the loop and display it is not a prime number. Okay, so maybe next number which I will take, let's say the number 8. So I'll iterate from where to where? 2 to, I'll iterate from 2 to 7. Okay. Then at the very first instance, 8 mod with 2 will give me 0. So I'll break the loop there and then itself. I will not go further. So let's try to implement this algorithm. So I start, I take the number as n. So here I don't need the counter. I'll take it as a flag over here now. And we'll keep a loop counter. I'll start the loop from 2. It will go to less than n. And then if it divides, I'll set the flag to 1 and I'll break the loop. And then I'll go and check the value of the flag. If the flag remains 0 till the end, I'll say it's prime. And if it modifies, I'll say it's not prime. And then I'll see the loop count. So if I put the number as 7, what do you think will be the loop counter value, guys? If I take the number as 7, what do you think will be the value of the loop counter? Yes. So when I mod it with 2, it will not. So loop counter will increment again. 3, no. 4, no. 5, no. 6. So this will run from 2 to 6. So it will be, loop counter will be 5. So it has run for 5 iterations and has told me the number is prime. So if I take the number as 8 and execute, what do you think will be the answer? It will be a not prime. And at the very first instance, it has broken the loop. So in one iteration, it will tell me non-prime. What if I enter 97? 10. So now to tell me a number is prime, it is running from start to end, right? So it is running how many times? Just the 1 is being removed and itself has been removed. So this will give me 95. The number is prime. So whatever is the number, 2 minus that. So when I said 7, it gave me 95. I should have saved it. When I said 7, it gave me 5. When I said 97, it gave me 95. So if I have to express this,
Umar sir, actually
yes,
students are saying screen is stuck. Can you please check it once?
yes,
Students are saying that screen is stuck.
is it
Huh.
now?
So which screen you are saying? Now we are able to see the code.
Yeah. So I'm now able to see the code.
Yes sir.
Okay, Amar, thank you. Okay. So now if I have to express this in regards to time complexity, how will you say that? So whatever is the number, I am taking 2 iterations lesser than that. So this is even better. So this algorithm is better compared with the first one. So we're not just interested in the answer, but we are interested in who takes the minimum amount of iteration to get the answer. Okay. So when I said in this, we had given O of n, and when I say, okay, so I modified the prime number 1 only, looks like. So this is O of n, and this is O of n minus 2. Okay. I'll just correct the classes. So this was my first one, right? This was my first one. And this was my second one. Now, so one answer came in 97 iterations. Again, second came in 95. Then if we have one more, I'll copy that and number 3 and try to check that. So here what we can do is a number max to max will go in its half, not more than that. So no need to waste the iteration. So directly you can say less than or equal to. Okay. So we can take this logic of second one and try to improve on it. And let's copy this as it is. Okay. And then I'll say you don't need to go till n, just go till n by 2. So now this will save us lots of iterations. So now see, I'm telling 97 is prime and in half the number of iterations. So I'm not iterating. So if the number is 100, 100 will go max to max in 50 stable, not more than that. Okay. So now here I'm saying O of n by 2. So this is even faster. Yes. So these 3 we have got, right? Can anyone help me with even a more faster way? There is one which is even faster. I'll just copy this and paste it. Prime number 4 here. So what I wish to inject in your system is that going forward, try to get the answer with minimum iterations. Just don't focus on getting the answer, but try to be conscious of the iteration which you are taking to get the answer. So now I'll tell one thing, okay? So I'll just switch back to my Excel sheet. So if I have a number as 100, okay, I take the square root of that number. That gives me 10. Okay. So if I run a loop from 2 to the square root, and if it mods by any of these numbers, then this number, if it divides by any of these, is divisible If it is not divisible by any of these, then going forward, 11 to 100 also it will not be, 11 to 99 also it will not be divisible. So if the number divides by 2 till its square root, it can be divided. If it doesn't divide from this range, then it will never be divisible after the numbers also. Let's take example of 16. So square root is 4. So start from 2 and go till 4. If it divides by this, any number from this, it's divisible. If it doesn't divide from this, then going forward also till 5 to 15 also it will not be divisible at all. So here 16 divided by 2. So we can break the loop. No need to check further. So we can start the loop from 2 and go till the square root of that number. So if I take 97, okay, so square root of 81 is 9. Square root of 100 is 10. So this number falls very close to 10. So if I take a loop which starts from 2 and goes till 10, 97 mod with 2. Okay. So mod with 2, will it give me 0? No. Mod with 2, will it give me 0? Okay. No. So false. And similarly, 97 mod with till 10 will never give you 0. It will be false everywhere. So if it doesn't divide in this range, then going forward also it will never divide. So what we can do is start the algorithm at 2. Now instead of going till half, we can go till math dot square root of n. So now if I do a save and if I do a run, see, it's telling me number is prime and in 8 iteration. So this is the fastest. Does anyone have even a more faster algorithm than this? Okay, so now if I give a summary of all the 4 candidates' performance, okay, so I'll keep a benchmark as 97 as the number, input number. So A took 97 iterations. So his time complexity, always mention your answer in time complexity. You can use big O most of the time. It's universally accepted. So you will say O of n. Candidate B, 97 took 95 attempts. So I'll mention the time complexity as n minus 2. Candidate C went from 2 to half of that. Okay. So took 47 attempts. So I'll say time complexity of n divided by 2. Okay, and I am also starting from 2, not from 1. So I can reduce n by 2 and I can reduce one step from more also. So I can say n by 2 minus 1. And the candidate D just took 8 attempts, 8 iterations. So his time complexity was O of, okay, square root of n. So this is the fastest. Okay. So we have various we have various complexity classes, guys. So whenever we discuss the big O, okay, we have various complexity classes. So one complexity class is called as your linear complexity class. So linear one is this one. O of n is linear. Means the number of elements, those many iterations. That is called as. So here you can say I am using linear time complexity. Okay, so try to use these jargons when you are appearing for your interview. This will reflect highly of your understanding of your algorithms. So we have done it in linear time complex. Okay. Then we also have quadratic time complexity. So if the number is 3 and if you take the square the amount of iterations, okay, so n square, n to the power 2. So, and if you can give some programming use cases which lead to linear time complexity, so you can say searching a number in an array. So those many numbers, okay, so you can use that. Also we have two searches. So you can say using linear search. Using linear search. This is a programming use case, okay. Quadratic means if the number is 3, then your loop count will be 3 squared is 9. So all your matrices programs like addition of matrices, subtraction of matrices, okay, those work in time complexity of O of n square, okay. Then there is cubic time complexity, that is O of n cube. So if the number of elements is 3, the number of iteration will be 27, n cube. So whenever you do matrix multiplication works in n cube time complexity. Okay. Then you have your, okay, then I forgot constant. Constant time complexity means O of 1. So irrespective number of elements, this task will always take one step. That is your constant time complexity. So this you can say display the first number from an array. So all you need to do is just say ARR of index 0 or the last number from an array. So this can be easily achieved by just saying ARR of ARR dot length minus 1. So those tasks which can be solved in a single step, those have a time complexity of constant time complexity. So you can call it as O of 1. Linear O of n. Between linear and constant, you have one very famous time complexity class, very, very famous. That's called as logarithmic time complex. So you can call that as O of log n. Okay. So, okay, we most are engineering students, right? So can you tell me the answer for what is log of 100 to the base 2? Okay, so let me write it in note in the paint screen. Can anybody tell me the answer for this? And how is it calculated? Log of 100 to the base 2. What will be the answer? Or how is it calculated? On what basis? See, I would love that if you all can interact and communicate and share. So that will help me. try to give maximum from my end. If I feel that no one's communicating, everyone's relaxed, whether you all are there or not at the system, that also puts a question mark as to whether the candidate is actually there or not, or has they just joined and the meeting and are not present at the desktop. So what is the answer for log 100 to the base 2? Any guesses? And how is it calculated is my question. Anyone? So we need to first check for the base. Base is 2, right? So how this works internally is, here's my Excel sheet. Okay. I hope my Excel sheet is visible to everyone. So what happens is you take the number, whatever log you want to find, and you continuously divide it by 2. Continuously divide it by 2. Just continuously keep on dividing it by 2 till you get 1. So 100 by 2, 50. 50 by 2, 25. 25 by 2, 12. Okay, and let's carry forward 0.5. 12 by 2, 6. 6 by 2, 3. 3 by 2, 1. Okay, and let's carry forward points. So how many divisions did it take to reach from this number to 1? It took me 1, 2, 6, and these 2, if I can just do, so between 6 and 7, okay? So log 100 to the base 2 will be something, let's say 6.67. Now, can anyone tell me what is the value of log 200 to the base 2? The base 2, okay? I want the base as 2. What will be the answer? Should it be 12.67? If 100 is 6, then 200 should be double of 100. Is that so? No, we just have to increase one iteration more. So 200 divided by 2 gives me 100. And of 100, I have got the answer as 6.67. Only one iteration is increasing. So answer for 200 would be 7.67. Okay. So this means that if the range is of size 200, I just need max to max 7.67 iterations to get the answer. So if I use the linear time complexity for a range of 200, it will give me 200 comparison in the worst case. But if I use a logarithmic time complexity, 200 units, I can iterate in max to max 8 iterations, not more than that. So this also is a time complexity which we should know. And where does it fit into? It fits into between constant and your linear. Okay. So, and the example for this is your binary search. So binary search works on the complexity of log of n. So once you have, then you can combine linear and logarithmic together and form n log n, which will be, so, okay, so we can combine these two together and we can say O of n log n. Okay, so this you can use for, let's say, merge sort. These are use cases where we use these complexity classes. Then you have cubic. Then you also have worst case is your factorial. So if you have 5 numbers, your worst case scenario will be n factorial number of attempts. That will be too much. Okay. So factorial, this is the worst case time complexity. And so now you can say O of n, O of 1 is less than O of log n, which is less than O of n, which is less than O of n log n, because we have an n over here. So n multiplied by anything will always be more than n, which is less than O of n square, and which is less than O of n cube, and which is less than, okay, O of n factorial. So these complexity classes you can use to express your answer. Okay. Guys, the attendance link has been posted. So those who have joined can mark your attendance. Okay. And you all can put in your doubts and queries and concerns also as to any program which you all are trying to solve and you all are stuck up and you all need assistance. So we can solve those programs. Okay. Just give me a 2-3 minutes reliever. I'll be back. Meanwhile, mark your attendance. Those who have joined through Zoom or through YouTube can mark the attendance. Hi, Amar. Are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm there.
I just sent you a chat, Amar.
Okay.
Okay, guys, then practice whatever I've just taught you all today and mark your doubts, whatever you all have, post it on the chat. Those who joined through YouTube or whatever, those who joined through Zoom. Okay. And tomorrow we'll take some more. The next topics tomorrow we can take. So maybe we can tomorrow start with the first module which we have discussed. Maybe we can discuss collections in Java framework tomorrow and solve some questions regarding collections. Okay. So take this time to practice. If you have any queries, any concern, just post it on the chat, guys. I'm here.
So dear students, I already shared the attendance link in the chat box. So I hope everybody marked the attendance. I'm sharing it once again. Please fill the attendance. Within the next 2 minutes, we'll be closing for the day. And we'll see you on tomorrow at same time. So please mark your attendance. Thank you. Okay, so dear students, thank you so much for attending the day 1 of this program. And we'll see you on tomorrow sharp at 7 o'clock. So it's my humble request, everybody, this program is oriented, YouTube oriented, means we want students to join via YouTube. So please be there via YouTube. So thank you so much. We'll see you on tomorrow sharp at 7 o'clock. Till the time, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye. Umar sir, can you please give me the host access to me? Then I can end the session, as I need to stop the YouTube live as well. Take care of your family, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye, guys. See you all tomorrow, sharp 7 p.m.
Sir, please give me the host access, because I need to give me the host access to me. Then I can end the session.
Yes,
I
sir.
need to stop the YouTube live as well. Take care of your family, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Okay. Sir, you are showing me as the host.